can't already tell, I'm home. What a relief. I feel amazing already, and I'm starting to figure everything out now that I'm back and I'm putting the pieces together. And I'm continuing to make podcasts, of course, because that's what I'm focusing on. For the next month, it's all about me. It's all about this journey and, the enjoyment of creating. Because that's what I love to do most. I love to create and spend my time outdoors, in nature, and with the people I love. Because, when you got the relationships in your life, when you got the spirituality in your life, nature, and when you got, something that you're working on, a business. For me, the podcast, that's the perfect trifecta right there. There is nothing better than those three things, because that's, in my opinion, what makes a really good life. And I'm fortunate enough to have really good people in my life and a solid plan and idea and a place to live that I enjoy. And I'm just happy. I'm happy that I took that leap of faith. It was very scary, quitting my job. It was very scary, but I honestly have never felt better. I knew it wasn't meant for me, and it took me a long time to make that decision, but it was worth it. And if you're facing a similar situation where you know something isn't meant for you, but you're drudging through, hoping that either things will change or you'll change and finally make that decision, just make that decision if you can. If you have the power to make that decision and it isn't going to dramatically affect your life in a negative way, then make that decision, because there's more positives on the other side of that fear than there is negatives. So if you just really take your time to judge the situation as it is, not based on your fears, then everything will work out. And that's a motto I used to have a lot. A motto that I really stuck with was, everything will work out. And I think I'm gonna bring that back into my life. That motto, that everything will work out, and if you just go with the flow, you will figure it out. Sorry, it's a little bright if you're watching the video podcast. It's a bright day, it's a beautiful day, and later today, my girlfriend invited me to some volleyball, and I'm gonna go play some volleyball with some friends and her. And then we're gonna go out to the pub, have a few drinks, and have some food. Like, what a perfect way to end the day. And then tomorrow, I'm going to visit my mom and my brother and my sister and go play some mini golf at this resort. And that evening, it's the next night after that, I'm going out to the club to do a little dancing and have some fun with my girl. And man, I'm just so happy to be back home, and that's what this video is about. It's just a little bit of an update about my life and how happy I am right now. Like, I wish I could show you this view completely. It's a little too bright for that, but it's beautiful out here. And I feel beautiful on the inside, not in a, in a good way, if you know what I mean. I just feel great. I feel like I'm finally making progress in my life, and I'm finally on track. I have a lot more clarity, especially being out here in nature. Like, this is my favorite spot on earth. This was the place I used to come to when I was younger, when I was a little kid, when I was going through depression. I used to listen to Eckhart Tolle out here, The Power of Now, and Awakening to Life's Purpose, or whatever it's called, the second book. And that really helped me. And I fell in love with this place. And that's just because it has so much memory. And I've been here so many times over the years, and I just continue to spend my time out here every time I can, because I don't know when the last time I'm gonna be out here. So just live it to the fullest, living my life to the fullest, and I get to express myself in nature. I know I went on a little tangent there about nature, but man, it's good to be back. And I'm just so gleeful, so joyful, a little bubbly. And that fear is gone. And that's what I realized about fear, is that once you face your fear, it just disappears. Like, when you actually face your fear and you do the thing you're afraid of, but it's the thing that you have to do and you want to do, that fear just goes away, because you're in the unknown and it's now known. You know what's happening around you, you know what you're going through, so it's no longer scary. You stepped out of your comfort zone. And that's what it comes down to, is just stepping out of your comfort zone and taking that leap of faith. Because sometimes it is a leap of faith and you don't know what's going to happen. But if it feels right, it feels right. And go with that. Stick with that if it feels right. And that is my lesson for you, my piece of advice. Sorry, I'm a little out of breath here. I need to do more cardio, as you can tell. And tomorrow, I'm gonna get back into the gym. I took a little hiatus to focus on my podcast while I was up north working because I didn't have enough time in my days, but now I have all the time in the world to focus on everything in my life that fulfills me. And in a month's time, we'll see what happens, but if I need to, I'll pick up another job. I got a few options and firefighting season's coming up, so maybe that's the route I'll take. But we'll see, right? It's all about this present moment and living in this moment, and that's where I'm at. That's it. I'm just right here in this moment, doing my best, having as much fun as I can, and really just working on something that I guarantee is going to change my life and hopefully a lot of other people's lives too. And if you're watching this podcast, you're listening to this podcast, and maybe you feel inspired by this, then really at the end of the day, that is all I could ever want from this, other than the success that I get from it, the success of you, the success of the listener, because I don't just speak these messages just to express myself. I speak these messages to share a part of my life, and maybe you relate to that in some sort of way. And talking about expressing myself and sharing my message with others, I did have this person reach out to me yesterday on my Instagram, and they basically just said thank you for the podcast and thank you for doing what you're doing, because it really helped them out. And I got goosebumps talking about it now because it's making me a little emotional, because that's why I'm doing this. Really, I will achieve success one day from this, and I guarantee one day I will make money from this and be able to do this full time as my career. But I'm also helping others, and it just feels good to be able to do that, because I don't view myself as extraordinary. I don't view myself as any better than anyone else. Honestly, I'm just an average guy who just likes to talk. And one day I decided to put my thoughts on the internet, and just, in the hopes of feeling better about my life and what I'm going through. And I did, but I also inspired a lot of people. And it's just very humbling to think of that side of things, that I could use my voice for good. And I don't want to cry, so I don't want to get too much into it. But thank you for tuning into these podcasts. Thank you for listening. You've really changed my life, and I'm getting a little emotional. I hope I could change yours too, in any way that might be. And I'm just so happy to be home. I've said that like 100 times now, but it just feels so good. It feels so good to walk this forest again, to walk through these trees, to hear the sound of the running water in the distance, and to smell that breath of fresh air. I think I kind of worded that wrong, but you know what I mean. It smells good out here. It looks good out here. It feels good out here. Life is just better out here. Spend some time outdoors if you can. It will really make you happy. It really will. It'll make you feel good, especially if you're going through a chaotic time in your life. Because I know about chaotic times. I know how tough they can be, and how, tough it is to manage that. But time outdoors could really change a lot about you and about how you feel. So, yeah, I guess with that, I am just going to continue walking through this forest, continue enjoying my time out here before I gotta go to play some volleyball. And maybe I'll do a little bit of meditation, because I love meditation, and I haven't given myself enough time to do that. And what I do notice about meditating is that it makes me feel really good. It makes me feel a little more in touch with myself, to get into the spiritual part of it a little bit, because I am a little spiritual, and that's something you should know about me. I used to be a little more spiritual, but I honestly kind of leveled out and figured out what worked with me and what, felt good to me. So I stuck with those things and I discarded the rest. And, if this podcast is something that you enjoy or you don't enjoy, like, that's totally fine. If there's something that you could take from this, then that's cool. But if there isn't anything and you're just here to listen, or maybe it's not for you, I totally get it. This podcast is not normal, as you could say. It's just kind of me walking around in the woods expressing my thoughts, or wherever I may be, in my car. And that's what I do because I enjoy it. And one more piece of advice I want to give before I go, just something that I've noticed in my life and something I've tried to strive for, is my authenticity and chasing after the things that feel right to you. Because if you do chase after those things that feel right and you go down the path that feels good and is benefiting your life in a positive way, then you're going down the path of least resistance. Because who's resisting fun? Who's resisting a path that feels good? The only thing on that path that is tough is the fears that you face. But if you face those fears head on and you move forward, no matter how, those fears might present themselves, you're going to get through those dark days. You're going to get through those dark times. And on the other side of those dark times, those dark days, that dark tunnel is a light. And that light is your dream life. That light is the life that you're meant to live. And I'm getting goosebumps again talking about it, because it feels good to do what you're meant to be doing. And for me, it's talking, making a podcast, and just spending time outdoors and with the people I love. So I'm getting a little repetitive here, but that being said, thank you for tuning in to this podcast. This podcast, episode 6, is just a little update about my life today and how I'm feeling. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you again tomorrow.